To find the derivative of this equation right here, f of x equals to e to the power of x, there's a bunch of formulas that we can solve this equation. The easiest one is using limit. So the formula of finding f of x, which is derivative of x equals to limit h when h goes to 0 and f x plus h minus f of x over h when h is the limit of h goes to 0. We use this formula to solve this equation. So we just take this equation and plot it into these ones. We know that f of x equals to e to the power of x, and we know we just add h to this the power of e. So this would equal to limit h is equal to 0, and this would give us as, if we write this equation over here, this would give us as e to the power of x plus h. Now we just subtract the f of x, which is over here, the same thing, we just minus it, minus e to the power of x over h when h is equal to 0. Now this formula over here is hard to solve, but if we use the power rule, we know that the power rule of this one, the index rule, we know that the limit, just let me write this again, limit h is equal to 0. We know that if we take this out, we know that the e to the power of x times e to the power of h, which is the same thing as just the powers are add up because both base are the same. So I'll just write this again. So e to the power of x times e to the power of h minus e to the power of x over h. Now we have it's now easier to solve because we know we have this and we have this. We just take out the coefficient, just like as 2x plus x. We just take out the x outside. So to solve this, now here let me just write this again over here as limit h is going to 0. This would give us as e to the power of x is taken out. This would give us as e to the power of h minus 1 over h is going to h is going to 0. The rule law for log, we just take is the power, this is the power of this limit. Just take this out over here as put it over here, which is the same thing as this multiply this, but I just will take this out over here and make this equation easier for myself. So if I take the e to the power of x outside the formula, so I would get as this would equal to as limit e to the power of x times limit h is going to 0 divided by times e to the power of h minus 1 over h. Now it's easier for ourselves. We know that limit h is going to 0 times e to the power of h minus 1 over h. We know that this is practically 1. If you multiply these two, if you substitute 0 when h is equal to 0, we get infinity, an undefined number. So instead of writing undefined, we just write 1. So if we substitute 0 into this equation, we know that 0 e to the power of 0, which is 1 minus 1 over 0, and it's 1. So we just write e to the power of x times 1. And if we write if we simplify this even more, it would give us e to the power of x. So we just found out that the derivative of fx equals to e to the power of x. The derivative of this equation would give us the same one as e to the power of x by going through these these steps to solving this equation. Thank you. Please subscribe to the video and like.